Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey,
What is up?
it's another Tuesday with Gearheads and Guardians, Nitro and Rocco. How much better can it be, right?
Ready for a good time, man. Ready for a good
That's
time.
it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Um, we got a pretty good lineup for the week. Got some race updates from Vado. We got some information from Zalise again. Always welcome Zalise because they always have something always great for us. So no matter what it is, it's always good.
Always.
Um, and then we got some stuff, some updates and stuff like that for the American Legion here in Seguin, and some stuff for the ALR as well. And I think the first most important thing we need to start off with again is like we always do. If you're considering hurting yourself or harming others, please pick up the phone, dial 988. Somebody on the other end of that phone actually does give a damn. Somebody's gonna help you. Okay. If that is not something that you're privy to, gearheads and guardians at gmail.com, address it to either myself or Nitro or both of us, either or, and we'll try to get back to you as fast as we can. We don't always check them every day, so be patient with us. I mean, we he Nitro works a full-time job. I have 3 jobs that I work. So
I mean, it's getting
bear with
expensive
us.
to be a human guy, so some of us got to,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
use.
So anyway, it was definitely a great day to see you again today. Got to hang out with you for about a good half hour.
Yeah, yeah,
Always a
we got to
pleasure.
do a little, what is it called? Pre-gaming? Is that what they call it?
That's it.
Pre-gaming?
That's it.
Yeah.
Pre-game meeting. There you go.
Yep.
That was cool. Got to hang out with Raul
hmm
and Rhino. Got to hang out with Rhino and some of the other
Danny.
folks that stopped by.
hmm
Danny, yep, absolutely, Danny and Ron and our new bartender. If you're watching, Abby, welcome to the club.
Yeah,
Always a pleasure
it was
to
a
have
good
you.
little visit, man. In
Yeah, it was
fact,
going great.
Raul was wearing this hat, this 1X hat, had
Yeah, I
this dude's
noticed
name
that.
on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
told him it
hey,
was
dude,
garbage.
nice
Get rid
hat.
of it. So that guy's a schmuck.
Yeah, Raul,
Now,
you know we're BSing, right? Love you, bro. Anyways, so I really, I know we kind of touched base on Vado.
mhm,
Really didn't get too much into it because I didn't want to ruin it for myself.
sure.
So, if you want to give us the the what's up on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I ever since his last win, his second win of the season,
Mhm.
I said, hey man, let's I'd like to get you on, I'd like to get you on the show, and he was like, well, let me see how it goes, right? I don't. He just wants to make sure it wasn't a fluke, and then you know. The last couple of nights, they missed the setup just a little bit. But I don't know where Michael finished the season. But I think the highlight of all of it, to be honest with you, is Bryce didn't even
Yes.
race a full season, right? He did not race a full season. He only raced a handful of times, and he finished 10th. He had a top 10 points finish and didn't even race. And let me tell you,
The best
some
part is he's 14. That's crazy.
not only that, right? Let's talk about points. You don't have to win a championship. You have to be consistent. You have to be there at every points race. You have to be consistent, right?
That's right.
However, when you're not there all the time, you have to finish really well to accumulate points over the season,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? To finish, to finish in the in the higher numbers. Listen,
Sure.
he it is absolutely impressive what Bryce was able to do in the handful of times he was in the car.
Right.
We had the car set up right. The car was working. Made some minor changes. He got better, and he finished 10th in points and only raced a handful of times, compared to drivers that raced every night,
all the time. Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking, and when you have, it's just amazing to see. I don't think he finished in all of his races. He didn't finish below fifth.
Well, here's the crazy part.
Except for the night he spun out.
In case
yeah.
y'all didn't hear me earlier, this young man is 14 years old. He doesn't have a driver's license yet, and he's on the track competing and winning. That says something.
It's funny you say that too, because it sounds like a prodigy. It sounds. First of all, at 14, I was pulling weeds in the front yard of my mom and dad's house.
Exactly.
Right?
I was pulling weeds in the garden and racing BMX bikes.
Yeah. All I ever wanted to do was be a race car driver, and I had pedal tractors, right? But
there you go.
The thing that in the big picture of the racing community, you don't see kids like Bryce do what he does. There are many young, talented drivers, but at 14, Brock Pinkerest, right? Oh, Bam Bam out there on the East Coast. He's only 14. And he won at Volusia in a crate late model. He ran an open motor with the World of Outlaw late models. I think he did half decent. He won just, I want to say a couple weekends ago, he just won another big. So the young talent is there, right? We also have to remember that as we get older in our age, we lose the, if we're starting something new, we lose the fortitude to live on the edge, right? So these young kids, they're not scared of anything. They are not scared of anything.
Just like we were when we were their age, you know?
Yeah, except for we were stupid, right? I was an idiot. I'm not gonna lie.
And you want me to admit to that?
I am because
I know I was.
You know, but you're absolutely correct. 14 years old. The next season, and I'm gonna put my chips out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it. Everybody in the pure stock class in the Southwest, it doesn't matter what your age is. If you're in the pure stock class in the Southwest United States and you go to Vado, you better come with your A game, because the 1X, when he unloads, that kid is not thinking about politics. He's not thinking about other drivers. He's not thinking about friendships. The kid doesn't even, all he does is stand next to that car and does this, and he waits. We actually took a cool picture of him. He won his heat race, and he was laying on the back tailgate of his dad's truck, just drinking a Monster Chill. And I took a photo of him and said, "This is what legends in the makings do." You know,
right? This is what it looks like to be a pre-legend.
Yeah. And what's really good about kids his age, they're not wrapped up in other drama, right? They're not wrapped up in other driver drama. They're not, they're not into that stuff yet. They let the parents
right way.
Correct.
The right way, correct. It depends on how their parents are teaching them too,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the Archuletas have got it going on, obviously. So
it is a very
good gentleman.
Yeah, one of these times I'll when you can take a ride with us when we go back out to New Mexico to race, I'm going to introduce you to the family, and you want to talk about tighter than a ball of rubber bands, bro. This family, senior doesn't go to the track anymore. That was after Pat passed away. He said, "I'm not good." That was because that was their thing. Him and Pat would go and watch Michael race. That's what they did.
Right.
But they still watch from home, and I'm excited. It's my turn now, and I'm excited to go home and see if I can park it in Victory Lane, and if we can, it'll be a full circle thing for me, because
the 1X number. Period.
Yeah, Bryce is 1X, but I've never won at home. I won out here, but I've never won at home, and I've never won in a 4-bar car. It's very, very rough. It's very hard. This class is a very hard class to win in.
Sure.
But if we get to go home and I can park it in the lane, you can guarantee that that party is going to last a long time. So yeah, but good season overall. Michael got him a couple wins on the season, and
Right on.
especially coming off of with a new car from last year and everything.
Retirement on top of that,
Oh, he's not retired.
he's
No, yeah, he came out of retirement to do this, and he's one of the best in the business, man. And and I say that we had a conversation one time after when he got his first win of the season. He and I had a conversation. He says I was starting to doubt myself, and I told him, I said I doubt myself now. Every time I go to the shop and look at the car, I'm like, can I even? Do I still? I want to do it. I'm going to do it, but do I still have it like I used to? And I told him, I said, it'll come back. It'll come back. Mr. Lawrence is that little voice in the ear. And I told Michael, I said, it's like riding a bike, man. You just got to realize what kind of bike you're on. That's it. And he went out there and he won. So next season,
put it on him.
he's gonna do his best to put him on him. Sprint cars is like late models, man. Especially in the 305 class, they just don't have the power.
Sure.
Right. Track position is everything, and setup is even worse when you run a crate style motor. You can't power out of anything. So it's gonna be fun to see how they do next year.
Throttle a lot. Is that what you're telling me? You use it. I'm getting tongue tied.
Hammer down.
You use the throttle a lot.
You're in the throttle
more than
a
you
lot.
Like the 305s.
Well, I mean, I'm comparing apples and oranges on the big picture, but they're both the same in the sense that these cars, because of the lack of horsepower, you have to stay in the gas. You have to stay in the gas. And if you miss the setup and have to get on the brake and the car won't turn or whatever, you cannot catch up. It's just almost impossible to do.
Right.
So your stuff has to be on point
every time.
Every time. Unlike a 360 or a 410, you can have a bad setup and still be right up front. And you can try to drive through some things. Late models is the same thing. These guys have all these crate motors and they're fast, but they can drive and keep their foot in it. Us big motor guys, we're so far on the edge that if we keep our foot in it, the car has to be just absolutely perfect, and we have to know when to back off just enough. Otherwise, we're setting ourselves, into another
corner or whatever, right?
Into oblivion. Yeah. So, but I'm looking forward to next season. Both tracks. We're going to do some traveling around here. I'm excited for it, man. We got so much stuff coming up, especially with this new motor. I'm just. I told Michael, I said, we're going to do you proud, guy. We're going to do you proud. So.
Right on.
Yep.
Right on.
So
now, is it did anything happen local at the racetrack at I-37 at all?
No, the point season is over with here at I-37. They have another race on the 19th, but it's just they're just racing. And then we got the DTK Memorial coming up. Then they got the Clash down at the coast. I don't know that I'll make the Clash, right? I've got to, we've got so much to do on this thing. But points wise, Landon finished third, a close second. I'm talking like he was right there. So very proud of him. And we're in the off season now, man. So yeah. Yep.
Well, congratulations there, Mr. Sauter. Hope you have a better season next year.
Oh, the Iceman. We learned a lot.
Well, that's good. And that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Now, as far as the Legion and the Legion riders.
Yeah. Talk about filling the calendar, man. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the calendar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. But I did want to say, and I know when we were talking, pre-show talking, and I had showed you that big red thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was doing.
Nice.
God dang it. We've got a little kneeling soldier right there.
That's awesome. And you etched that with the laser. That's
2
so
minutes.
awesome, dude.
2 minutes.
That's awesome.
So
You know, and a good fundraiser. You know, good fundraiser. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what's really cool. You know, now that you see it have, you know, when you and I got that etcher, the whole idea was broadening our ability to bring people closer, i.e., like the dog tags, right?
dog tags.
I don't have them with me, but the dog tags. If you want a dog tag with your loved one on it, there you go. We can etch it for you. I still got to get that sheet up on the website. It's been kind of weird trying to get a Word document
it's
to
just,
go.
there's so
But
much time.
yeah,
There's so much time
yeah,
involved, and we got like 100 billion things going on at the same time.
yeah.
So it's really understandable.
But we're getting there. And then things like the bottle openers, right? With the where you got the Relief of Troops, Zelise, and Gearheads and Guardians, you know, things like that people can use, right? People can use this thing, and so we added to it at the bike week last week, which let me tell you, that was fun. Bike night was a great time. John and Raul and Ken and Danny, the riders were all there.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of bikes were there. We had the Relief for Troops table there. We talked to a couple good people. I'm actually had one into the sponsor of the event, Law Tigers.
Oh yeah.
He came up to me and said, "Here's my card. I want you to call me next week. We're gonna team up with you guys and make stuff happen." So it was a great event, and we did our first Tales from the Tank. Now, mind you, the sound was kind of off because I was using that new microphone and I still got to work with it. But we did Raul, our first Tales of the Tank, and that is strictly for the riders. When we go out and do riders, or whenever we're together, we pick one of our veterans that's a rider and say, "Tales from the Tank, we're going to talk to you." Spontaneous, you know, and
You don't have a choice.
yeah, it's
if we
that
come up
was
to
really
you and say,
cool.
Tales of the Tank, you're it.
You're in. Tales of the Tank, grab your drink, let's go.
Let's go.
Just anything to bring awareness to what the riders are doing in the American Legion. You know, they've been such a great group of people.
I'm here to tell you, you talk about an asset for the community.
Bro.
Okay, but people, okay, I know it sounds kind of one-sided sometimes when I speak about veterans, but what I'm trying to get at is there's so many veterans in the community. Okay, your neighbor might be a veteran and you might not even know it, because there's a lot of neighbor over here and the neighbor over there, they have no clue I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
I don't tell everybody my business. So the thing of it is, there's a lot of people that just don't put that out there, you know. But there's so many great things that the Legion does. Well, like tomorrow's the hold on, I'll pull that up right here right now.
The Veterans Outreach Center dinner. The Veterans dinner.
The Veteran Outreach Center. It's 205 East Weinert Street in Seguin.
Yep.
American Legion is hosting a dinner for veterans and have some organization speakers presenting how they can assist veterans. From 6 to 8, and that's Texas time.
Yep.
Okay. So
that's going to be cool.
And show some love to your vets, and let them know that you appreciate them. And if you don't appreciate them, well, just come on out and act like you do at least.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Then we got a ride Saturday. There's the riders have a ride Saturday for the VOC, the Veterans Outreach Marines, the young Marines. We're going to go out and support them and go ride. So,
I know.
It's almost like a full-time job there.
Yeah, I dig it. I like it. Post 593 in Converse. I think they're having a scavenger hunt this weekend too. So props to those guys for getting out on two wheels and having a good time. And I think for that this week, and then there's for the riders and members that watch the show, which I hope all of you do. there is a Halloween festival meeting this October 10th, which is Thursday, from
Yes.
30 to 7:30. So we can get ready for our event
Halloween bash. Uh-huh.
on the 26th, I believe it is. I think it's a Halloween costume party and everything else. So
Yeah.
that'll be a lot of fun on the 26th too.
Yes.
But
That is going to be fun. And
yeah.
this next Friday is bike night. We won't be at it because we have another event that we're going to be at. But next Friday, bike night, American Legion. It's open to the public. Come out, check out the bikes. We will be at the next one. We already had plans before this one, but this is really cool. Bring out all your bikes. I'm going to pass the word around. I'm going to see if we can get a flyer made. I don't know if John or Raul made a flyer, but we'll pass the flyer out.
Don't leave the keys in your bike though.
Yeah, don't leave the keys in your bike. Don't do that.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. So we and then November 10th and 11th. Okay, Relief for Troops. Mark will be. There's two events that Relief for Troops got invited to. Bluebonnet Palace is having on November 10th. Bluebonnet Palace is having a veterans event, and Caitlin, who's running the event, had requested us last Saturday to come out and set up a booth and talk to veterans about what we do and what have you not. So they're throwing a huge event for veterans, and they've asked us to be there because they support what we do. They enjoy what we do. Mark will be there. Bluebonnet Palace. We'll get more information on it, and we'll get it put out there. And then November 11th, we talked to the president of CW Warriors, Chris Carroll, today. And he has invited us out to his veterans car show that's on the 11th. Now, myself and my girlfriend Jennifer, we're going to be in Vegas, so we won't be there. But Mark will also be out at that with our table and booth and stuff to talk to veterans and so really
get out there, but I think I'll be working those 2 days.
yeah, really cool thing that Chris does. Veterans, I can't applaud him enough what he's done in the racing world for veterans with the CW Warriors. He has veterans that have come out to work on the cars and has actually been able to get them in cars. There's actually a veteran. There's a veteran that's an amputee that they got that they're building a car for, and he's going to get to race, and they're going to do the hand controls and everything.
Oh, how
Chris,
badass
Chris,
is that?
Chris, and Carroll Construction, they are doing great things, helping veterans racing and vocational working on the cars, and some of the veterans just work on the cars. That's all they do. But there's a couple of veterans that want to race, so they're making it happen. And he said he'd like to have a veteran from CW Warriors be in a car in every class. So that's really cool. What they're doing. So excellent.
I did want to make sure everybody know too that I know from November 1st to the 3rd. Yeah, the 3rd. It's the Lone Star Rally. That's going to be a big one. That's a 3-day big dealy thingy going on. So if you're not doing anything for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, make some plans if you're in the area to go check out the Lone Star Rally. It's going to be a great time.
Yes. Yeah. So that's I don't think we have anything else until next year. We are working through, Mark and I are working through getting from the funds that we raised this past two weekends ago, if you will. We're going to get Zalise is working with us so we can get an order of CBD, and we are going to do what they call a pop event. And this is where we're gonna. It's if you want to partake in this as a veteran, you have to pay attention to when we put stuff out, right? So there's going to be more to come, but we're going to do a pop event, and we're going to have a select amount of product there to hand out for free. There are some things that you have to do to get that, but it'll be a first come first serve, and whatever's left over will go to the next event. So we got some cool stuff coming up. It's like an Easter egg hunt, but
Super
really cool. Yeah, super cool.
So now I was going to ask you too. On the 10th of this month, which is, I'm sorry, never mind. I scratched that. I meant the 26th. I meant the 26th. Are you going to be at the Legion on the 26th?
The 26th, yes.
Okay. Now here's just a thought. Since it is going to be a Halloween party kind of thing, and it is going to be on a Saturday, so that means Rocco won't be tending the bar, hopefully. Do you have a costume ready already?
So I don't know fully what's going on that day. It's really cool. Jennifer's daughter's coming in from Maryland. So she'll be here. So we're still kind of working our details on it. But I'm a simple guy. If I haven't done a costume since we worked over at Lackland, and all I did was put my helmet on, my fire suit, and I went to work, and as a race car driver, I don't know, it just seemed to fit,
Race driver.
Yeah. I'm a Jason and a Michael Myers type of so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
I already have my costume. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for my hat to get here.
Maybe we're just as a village people.
I'm gonna go as a moonshiner.
with real moonshine. So, talking about the Legion, tell us, you've been working there for a few weeks now. How's it been?
Dude, I'm just gonna, man, when you ask me that, it's like my brain just flooded with stuff I wanted to say.
Right.
And, to pick a starting point is really hard, but I will say this. And I'll say this. I'll start from the very, 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 very beginning. When our commander, she, God bless her. I hate to say, and I hate to sound like I'm a podunk or a pudussy, but I get kind of emotional because I was in a really bad place, and mentally I was in a bad place.
Sure.
And she interviewed me without me knowing she was interviewing me, and she told me I had the job. So for that, number one, first and foremost, I am like so totally grateful. Beyond, normal thanking. I'm saying this is like, oh my God, thank you so much. Because
sure,
I don't have that depression kind of thing going on anymore.
Right.
She afforded me an opportunity, and I'm running with it out of appreciation, not because I'm trying to make big changes against anybody or tell people what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, because that's not at all what I'm trying to do. Just trying to show my appreciation and do big things. And, I want to help out with the bar, get the bar, more modern and things like that. And, just do great things for the Legion. I don't, and the thing of it is, I don't want anybody ever to think that I'm trying to do it all by myself and I'm trying to take credit or I want notoriety, because that's not what it's about.
Sure.
Okay. We're a team. We're a post, and we're all veterans, and we're all, I don't want to say soldiers or minions or whatever you want to say,
right?
But we're all members of this great entity, and I just want to do great things for them, because I'm so far I've been blessed with a lot of time on my hands lately, where I can do things like that. Like getting the new neon lights in there, getting the pool table lights, getting all these things to liven it up a little bit. Last thing I'm trying to do is take over, so I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to take over. But
Sure.
as far as working for the Legion, man, I'm here to tell you, if you're a veteran, or even if you're not a veteran, and you live close to a Legion, by God, get up, go check it out.
Sure.
You will
It,
not be sorry. And I think there's somebody in the background there.
yes.
I
Oh, I'm
see
glad.
her.
I'm glad. I'm glad this is,
I wanted to get
go
the
ahead.
spotlight off me. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, is that why you did it? Well,
That's why I did it.
I'll tell you, it's good. It's good to see you happy, and thank you for bringing me into the. It's just been a
Man,
great.
I'm
And
telling
when
you,
I walk in, they go like, "Oh, there's Rocco's friend," and it's vice versa. So they already know that
Roger,
it's this trouble.
Roger.
So
And the thing of it is, they made me feel like I was home. They made me feel like I've been part of the family for years. And I mean, it's just a really good feeling in your gut and in your heart, man. It's just a wonderful feeling. And that's why I called you. I was like, man, dude,
yeah,
you gotta get over here and check this out, man.
correct.
I wanted to share that with you because I mean, you're my best friend. So
That's awesome. Hey, so let's go ahead and segue into we
it's a
actually we're I'm glad we got all the good stuff out, of events and everything, because tonight is our first Zalise product spotlight. Now we
yes.
had talked about this, and we have she's been on before. We have a special guest. We're going to talk about CBN. And I told her just probably an hour and a half or so before, hey, you want to be on tonight? We want to do spotlight. We're going to talk about CBN. And she just got in. She just got off work, so her brain is still actually working veterinary stuff and
Right
body
on.
stuff. So I think this is probably a good time. So let's go ahead and bring her on in here.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, ladies and gentlemen. I introduce you, Dr. Emily Blow, our veteran / Zalise / everything. Export. SME.
I don't know about that, but hello. It's great to be back.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We
Hope you're doing well.
yeah, I mean, first of all, how's the veterinary world? You get home at 10:30 at night. Apparently it's not very busy for you.
Well, it was work and play a little bit. So
Oh, okay.
I was on a mission to do some other things, but while we were on, I had lots of phone calls with clients still checking in and coaching and putting stuff on the schedule for tomorrow. So
Fun.
So I had a long night yesterday too. It's just kind of the season where getting a lot of animals ready for the fall and winter, especially pregnancy check cows right now. I'm figuring out who's going to be treating what, vaccinating them, getting ready for keeping over winter versus selling and getting them into feed yards or moving them along to the next phase. So,
Nice.
yeah, so that's kind of a busy time, but also there's a lot of outdoor work to do right now and getting everything ready for us out here in the snow country where hopefully we don't get buried like further north, but we get more snow than you guys down there, that's for sure.
Oh, it was 95 today, so not too bad. Not too bad. It was a little cold front right there, but I appreciate you taking the time, Doc, on a whim. We had talked about doing a product once a month. As so everybody know, Dr. Emily has agreed to. We want everybody to be educated on the products more than just us, because we're not doctors. We're just users, and we know by personal testimony what it does to my body. Rocco is the same with him, and everybody else.
I like to reiterate that real quick. You said we're users, okay? I like to add a little something to that. We're users and definitely believers, because
Absolutely,
amazing.
Well, and I think important to say too, like the distinction in our past, user was always a negative connotation. So some people are saying they're utilizers instead of users because of that negative connotation. But either way, like you said, said, you know that these products have helped you. And so
Yes.
I definitely think if there are people really interested in knowing more about what the topic of the night, we have some other people on the Zalise Medical Advisory Board who have their whole practice basically built upon like sleep medicine. So we can bring them on
That
in the
would be
future.
awesome.
But
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
I can help with, and I was just pulling up a couple journal articles real quick, and I'm gonna have to plug my phone in again. So I'm gonna.
So
Hey, you know what though, Doc? If you could email that stuff to me too, because I really enjoyed that last article you sent me.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Can
so
do.
so I and for everybody, the product I picked to start this was the CBN and R&R, Zalise R&R, right?
Mhm.
So every month we're going to take a product, one of the products that Zalise has, and we are going to showcase it, and we're going to bring on Dr. Emily or one of our other great medical board members to talk about the product specifically and in depth more than what we can. So I threw this on her and I said, hey, I want to talk R&R, CBN, and she agreed to do it. So I appreciate that, Doc. So I want to say one of the first things when we talk, and Chuck, I think you can vouch for this too, but I know for me and a lot of people that starts the ultracell, just ultracell CBD. The first thing they said was that was the best sleep that they've had. Just taking the regular, the regular ultracell CBD, right?
Right.
And I haven't been on anything else. I took Dream time ago, and then R&R. I'm starting my sinuses from being in the allergies and
This time of year is not
when
the best.
out on the
either.
bike and especially years of being over in that crap and it just the sinuses are just screwed, and then you get COVID and it just throws my sinuses are so trash right now. I mean, I could take a whole bottle of Zyrtec and maybe have to blow my nose barely, but it was making me I snore real heavy now. And I wasn't getting good sleep. Obviously, my girlfriend wasn't getting good sleep. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to try the R&R because you had talked about it one time, Doc, about check out R&R if you're having a hard time sleeping.
Right.
And the CBN. Now, Rocco, I think you said too that you were lights out just on the ultracell. You haven't tried the R&R yet.
Mm-mm.
So
I've been doing. I got Vibe now, and man, I'm.
Cool.
yeah,
I'm
Man,
sorry.
I
My
crashed
quality is
good.
crashing. I apologize. My picture is not great, so I'm sorry for those who are watching, and it looks like
no, we can see you.
guys. Okay. I'm just logging into the back office a little bit of Zalise, but I guess what we should do a really quick overview is
Yeah.
that when we're talking about cannabinoids, we are talking about a lot of people know CBD and they know about CBG and maybe CBG is getting more popular and then they know about THC and that kind of thing, but there are over 110 compounds that are considered these cannabinoids that have these healthy components that are helping us establish balance and get this endocannabinoid system in our bodies back in check. So when we're talking about the one that we wanted to talk about tonight, CBN, that's just one of a big group of compounds that are helping us balance our body. And now that we're learning more about them and have more opportunities for studying them, we are learning like specific body systems that health benefits that they can provide. So I always encourage people, if they're having a certain like condition or something going on, just to go to PubMed. It's a government library database basically of the National Library of Medicine, where pretty much everyone who's doing research will submit their journal articles and research. So I just typed in CBN, and one of the articles from 2021 that came up was cannabinol, which is CBN, cannabinol, CANNABINOL, and sleep, separating fact from fiction. So there's just journal articles that people can read free, available. You can read the abstract, which is kind of the summary, and it tells about what they're studying. But CBN, or this cannabinol, is one that's really been studied to help with sleep. And so when you guys are talking about Vibe and you're talking about R&R, and also Dream is a non-hemp product. So for active military people, that is still a product that we can use. And there's this Medix blend. So that is mimicking the activity of hemp with other plants and other botanicals. So what we call like a phyto nutrient, plant nutrients that are helping phytocannabinoids that are basically helping replace what your body may or may not be producing enough. And so we're learning more and more that CBN is helpful for sleep. But if you can't take a hemp product for whatever reason, there are other things like Dream. So some people talk about Dream being more useful for like the falling asleep. And then the CBN products are helpful for staying asleep because you have different phases of sleep. And so we had some people early on who were wearing a Fitbit that when they, like kind of Chuck was saying, when they started taking Ultracell alone, plain Ultracell, they immediately started having more deep sleep and better rest sleep. Did you see that, Chuck?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's kind of funny too, because like the third week of taking the Ultracell and getting my new job all fell into place at the same time. And I swear to God, it was just like, I've never been happier in my entire life. So
great.
it's been great. It's been great. Yeah.
That's great.
Zalise has been a definite plus in
Awesome.
everything I do as far as sleep, healing, feeling better, all together, just better health, period. Absolutely, for sure.
And I was on the Dream for the longest time because really that was long before R&R came around.
Correct.
And that was the one proponent that took me off Ambien because I had to take the Ambien because once I woke up from a dream, you were up because it's almost like you're out. It happens up here, and because of what mine was, I was up. Like it was an instantaneous, you're awake. And I couldn't go back to sleep. And once things started calming down and I was on, Ultracell for a while, all that dreaming went away. Well, I have now that my sinuses are messing with me at night now, I wake myself up, besides I wake other people up. And it was hard to go back to sleep. Right. So I started the R&R and it is lights out, like done. And so how is it different? I understand the cannabinoid itself is different than Ultracell, but specifically when people ask like, what's the difference? If you start sleeping good by just taking regular Ultracell, right, and then you get on this and you get better sleep, how? I mean, just in generalizing, how is it much different? And some of the things that they say about cannabinol is it helps fight bacteria. It helps, repair your body. It does all this stuff in your sleep cycle. How does that work? Like, how does it know, or is it just how they've scientifically found out that from when you fall asleep to this, when your body's in this state? I mean, how does it really work?
I'm trying to find the Zalise training thing on that right now, and I'm getting a little bit torqued that I can't find. I'm on the resource library.
Just out of curiosity, though, is CBN one of the phytocannabinoids that are like more predominant? Those are like there's more.
I don't know the answer to that. Like the percentage within the plant, I'm not sure because what he has done in the past is they have utilized genetics. So like if you
Mhm.
remember back in school, the Mendel's plant breeding stuff, they had you would breed the ones with the bigger peas to the bigger peas and hopefully get more of the bigger peas
Right.
and little peas
Right.
and all that. So what they were doing is they were selecting the plants that were naturally higher in CBG and they were
Mhm.
breeding those plants to be higher in CBG and keep selecting for those ones that were higher in CBG because in the plant that is converted to other cannabinoids. They call it the mother cannabinoid. But
Right.
I don't know with CBN how they're doing that. So that's why I was trying to pull up the actual. There are product information. Oh, hallelujah! Thank the Lord. I think I might be getting closer. Okay, R&R. So I'm not sure if I was gonna look at the ingredients and see because usually they still have the whole plant ultracell in them, but then they kind of spike it with some of these what we call precision cannabinoids, so they would be higher on that. But while we were on all of that, I found this presentation from Dr. Todd that I can share with you. Um, and I'm going to see if I can copy and paste it right now. So it was talking about the benefits of sleep and being the number one missing ingredient in most people's healthy lives. That makes sense because if you're in pain or you have other stuff going on or you're struggling with PTSD and your mind can't shut down, that's going to
Right.
make a difference when you can't sleep. And then that affects other health systems. And so they were saying sleep is more important than drinking or eating. You can go 4 days without water, 25 days without eating, but only 2 to 3 days without sleep. And there's a lot of other systems that it affects. Oh, hang on. I'm trying to move to the next slide. Come on, buddy. So somewhere he highlights these pathways of where, oh, there's Ultra Dream. Come back. So the ingredients that are in Dream this will be different than the R&R, but like GABA, melatonin, chamomile, some of these other like products have actions on your body to help kind of get you into certain pathways on that. And I think he talks about it some. Yeah, here we go. So melatonin is a natural sleep hormone which stimulates sleep onset. GABA is the neurotransmitter that slows the brain waves for a gentle night's sleep. That's a natural thing that we have in our bodies, but some people need to take more. They don't make enough. Chamomile is a medicinal herb, apigenin, a flavonoid used for sleep for 5,000 years. And then 2011 PubMed research demonstrates chamomile extract to be slightly sedative and works with your natural benzodiazepine receptors, but is not addictive. So the benzodiazepines would be like in the Valium family. So it's working on those receptors, but it's not going to be addictive. So this is how we're talking about Ultra Dream. That's how they're getting sleep to come along. All right. So now he's going to switch to R&R in this presentation. Supports falling asleep, supports maintaining restful sleep, supports overall brain health, supports overall sight and eye health, and helps promote overall skin health. That's intriguing. And this has CBN, and I was looking to see if they had other hemp blend in here. Let me scroll along here. Sorry, this is sort of like impromptu.
I got a real quick question.
Yeah.
When you speak to people, I'm so sorry, my throat's all dry.
You're fine.
When you speak to people about Zillies and just when you're talking about the cannabinoids, when you're talking about that, and I mean, cause I'm sure because I get it all the time too. Oh, that's weed. Oh no.
Yeah.
What do you say? I don't want to say in retaliation, but to counter that, to try to end the stigma, because that's the biggest for me. That is the biggest wall I get every time I talk about it.
A lot of times in the training that we had early on, a lot of people would say, that's what I thought when I first heard about this too. But what I've learned is that there is a difference between hemp and marijuana, and most of that is tied to the psychoactive levels of THC in the plant. And hemp has a defined amount that is less than 0.3%. And these products will not create the same psychoactive response. But what's interesting, in one of the articles I was reading, they were saying CBN at higher levels can start to create some psychoactive activity, which is intriguing.
But that's a,
But
I mean, that's a pretty massive dose of that.
yeah.
To do that.
Yeah. And the other thing you need to remember too is at least we have this ultracell technology, which is like a super sophisticated water soluble technology. These are plant extracts that are oils, just like essential oils, but they
Right.
are converted into this technology that we have as Elise that helps make them highly water soluble so they
Mhm.
can into your body and your receptors. So you don't have to take as much, which you've learned with Vibe. You don't have to take a crazy whopper dose. You can
I
Mm-mm.
know.
serving
And you
size.
don't. R&R is the same way. The bottle is very small, and they actually have it. It's only it goes point 0.15, 0.25, and then 0.75, and it says on there only take a half a dropper. I didn't read the instructions. I've been taking a full dropper 0.75, and let me tell you something. You know, and when what's weird is it doesn't slam you asleep, right? I could sit here and take it like an hour before bed.
Mhm.
Be like, you know what? Yep. When you know it's time for you to go to bed, it's weird how it goes. Now I'm going to turn on, and it is like bagow done,
Good.
and
That's
when you
good.
wake up to an alarm. So, but I don't feel anything. Like I don't feel weird. There's no. It's. I will tell you that if you do that and then you try to get up and don't get at least 4 or 5 hours of sleep, you're gonna need some coffee, Jack, because your body's just not ready to get up yet. But it's the sinuses and everything waking up. I can roll over and go back to sleep, and I forget most of the time that I even do it. So
Right.
so when it talk
Go ahead.
so when it talks, so like how is that different? Are the receptors different than what dream attaches to, or is it just the effect of the receptors that each one is different is what changes how? Because they don't say anything about dream doing anything for you while you're asleep. It's simply go to bed.
Get you to
But
sleep.
Yeah.
R&R is while you're asleep and you're in the sleep cycle, this is what this cannabinoid does. Antibacterial, it helps brain health, it it does all this stuff to you. You know what I mean? Is it different than in the day, or is it strictly just the way that the
That
cannabinol is?
I'm not 100% sure. And this is an article, it's just WebMD, which could be dangerous, but it looks like it's got some interesting and very reasonable things. And so this one says, okay, hang on. It's talking about CBN being a milder version of THC, which is interesting. So back to your first question. There are receptors in our body, these CB1 and CB2 receptors. And then, so depending on which one it's preferentially binding to, I don't know. Depending on how that's working versus we've designed Dream to be a mimetic. So like mimicking those things and binding with those receptors. But I think the beautiful thing about hemp is that it is finding um what you need in your body, and their adaptogens, and they're helping bring things in balance. And I'm not sure how those individual components in the mimetics blend do that.
Hmm.
But this thing is talking about CBN being a breakdown product, which I find really interesting. And I'm definitely going to have to look into this some more. So it says, and I don't know if this is all legit or not, but it says CBN can be understood as a weaker version of THC. When THC components found in cannabis plant age, they break down, which leads to the formation of a less potent cannabinoid called CBN. But some of our antibiotics are like XYZ molecule, and when they break down, they do make like say ampicillin or amoxicillin and penicillin. So sometimes we do have different similar molecules that, and as they break down, then you have a form of something else. So I'm not sure, but it says it's 25% as effective as THC, which makes it a mild chemical. It is entirely non-psychoactive, or unlike CBD, which is entirely non-psychoactive, CBN in larger doses could produce mild psychoactive reactions. CBN has not been studied as widely as CBD or THC, so there's limited research and knowledge on its uses and benefits. But some of the potential uses and benefits observed in a few studies include that it can be as a sleep aid and help for sleep. And in a study of rats, CBN used showed relief in muscle and joint pain conditions like fibromyalgia. And the study also noted that pain relief was better when CBD and CBN were used together. And that's going back to that entourage effect. So this is talking about like all these other aspects of these plants and these 110 cannabinoids when they're all together having a party, what we can see in people and why some respond more favorably to one thing than the other. And it depends on what they have going on. And so, I mean, I am not familiar. Like I said, Dr. Todd is the one who is a sleep specialist, and he is definitely the guru. I haven't done as much studying on this, but it's fascinating that as we have these studies and as we learn, you know, where they are binding and how they're working, and can we mimic that in a non-hemp way, that we can keep reaching people for, you know, different things.
It's interesting that I found a study that was done, and it says, you know, what are the effects and benefits of CBN? It's antibacterial, may fight bacteria, especially strains that are resistant to antibiotics, like you were talking about. It was effective against MRSA, and which is obviously a staph infection. Also, it's a neuroprotectant. It may protect the brain and nervous system from damage or degeneration. They did find in a study of rats that CBN delayed the onset of ALS.
Oh, interesting.
Glaucoma. It may lower eye pressure. Anti-inflammatory, sleep aid, like you were talking about. So
there's definitely certain plants that I've heard multiple times now that they are really targeting for glaucoma and different ones. And I think we keep figuring out like what concentrations, what's working better, and that's so much more sophisticated than the broad spectrum. But I think that's the beautiful thing of these products is they're highly absorbed. So if you have a multitude of issues, what do you have to lose by trying it? It may start to balance out some other things. I've been kind of digging into some other things too, and you know, there's a lot of exposure to neurotoxins with mercury. People who've been in the military have been exposed to loads of chemicals, loads of explosives, or loads of just gunpowder and lead and all of that. And there can be things they've been in places where there's Lyme disease, there's other stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in your body, and there's, you know, those are worth investigating too. But the products that Zalise uses are from organically sourced hemp, and they're CO2 extracted. So you're not going to be putting more trash in your body by utilizing these products, because hemp is a bioaccumulator. And if it's grown in a place that's not organically sourced hemp, that's pulling all that trash out of the environment. I mean, I think they were talking about it from Chernobyl, that they used it to help clean up Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And so early on, they were importing a lot of hemp, and they could make goods out of hemp, but it wasn't clean. And so I think that's something that people can be really confident about too, is they're dealing with some of these other things. They're not going to make it worse by utilizing these products, because they're not using solvents and they're not using alcohol and things like that to actually get it out of the plant into a form that it can be taken. And then again, it's, you know what you're getting, you know it's going to be absorbed. So those are the big ones.
Which for people that are big on the organic stuff, like organic foods and what have you not, there's no this is as organic can be organic, you know, in the sense. So it is interesting how we talk about the positive effects. I've been back in the gym, you know, and one of the hard things about me going to the gym was my arthritis, right? My shoulders are both torn and there's arthritis inside. So lifting, I stopped for a while because you have to give the body a break to heal. And since I've been lifting, even though it hasn't been every day, I do it no more than 3 times a week. And then I take some time off, you know, because we're so busy, it allows the body to heal. But while I'm lifting, I've noticed that I have not started to strain, and taking the R&R, I wake up the next morning not as sore. You know, that's something else. You know, besides, I don't really take a recovery. I take my proteins and you know, we eat healthy and what have you not. But I'm a big guy and I don't lift light. I have to put something behind it. So all that stress that I'm putting on already injured parts, I'm able to lift, and I wake up the next morning and can go back and do it again and not hurt. Between the CBD, I take Vibe and R&R. Of course, I also take ice. That's, but
Yeah, awesome.
I've noticed that waking up in the morning, I'm not as my recovery time is less. It's almost like while I'm sleeping, the body recovers faster by taking the R&R. And I thought that was interesting. That's why I was like, what we need, we need to, besides sleeping good, I just, that's why I asked you to get your opinion and any insight you may have, so that people can get a medical view of like kind of how it's really working on you. But that's and the bottle's little. Like, it is you do not need a lot of this stuff. It's when they said only take a half a dropper of this half a dropper, that's already a half size of a normal dropper. I'm like, that's all you need? Lights out, guy. I'm 250 pounds. Done. So, anybody that's got sleep problems and healing problems, this is the jam right here.
Ooh, this is interesting. This is from 2023. Effects on sleep and next day function in insomnia disorder. Protocol for randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, crossover, 3-arm proof of concept trial. Let's see what their conclusion was.
3 arms? Dude had 3 arms and there was a trial on it?
I don't know where they're going to get that. They did all these different things. Where's the conclusion, y'all? It's going to be one of those where you can only see the first part. There's full text. Gonna look at this one. It's amazing what you can find, though. If you are curious about something in your body and XYZ thing that you have going on, and you go in there and you start typing it in.
But you know something about that though, Doc? We can read all that all day long, but it's understanding what they're saying, like to the human body. And I think that's like when the Zalise, when you read the Zalise, things about R&R, right? Chuck and I were talking about this, last time we talked about R&R. Like it says what it does, but it doesn't say what it like why
or how.
What, right.
Biochemistry. Yeah. And most people, when we start talking about that, I mean, in addition, when we start talking about alphabet soup, usually they like check out and their eyes glass over, but we can certainly, I wonder if this is a prospective study of what they were getting ready to do. Oh, that's blah, blah, blah. No bueno. But I think like a lot of people, that's like just too much. And so we can dig into it. And like I said, Dr. Todd is really the one who is the sleep expert, because that's his board certification and he does that all day, every day.
Sure.
But we could try to get him on to give us the nitty gritty, because I
just
don't really know. That's beyond the scope of what I've researched so far. But and we can certainly look into it and follow up on how it's working. I know there are slides about where the receptors are coming in and how this plant comes about and what separates this cannabinoid from other ones and where is it differentiated, like you were talking about, like where along that pipeline does it become CBN and how, like, is it a breakdown product? Is it something made? Those would be really interesting to know, but I definitely would say I'm going to have to do some homework. But I'm going to try to send you, what I'm trying to do is send you this presentation, and it doesn't want to play. There's a video on Dr. Todd's training that he talks about all of these things. And do you think I can forward it? Maybe right now.
Hey guys, real quick, I hate to interrupt, but I do got to dip out of here. I got to get to the grocery store. Otherwise, we're not going to have any food tomorrow.
Sure. We'll finish this out for you, man.
All right. Well, listen, Doc, it was definitely a pleasure seeing you again. I can't wait to see you again and get some more info, because it seems like every time you come up here, it's like I get a plethora of information,
knowledge
downloaded, and it makes me feel better. So
My pleasure.
Yeah.
So
You
anyway,
want to tell me your
I-
email really quick, and I can send you this link
say again,
or type it. Do you want to type your email in the chat, and I can send you this link?
Roger. It's right there.
Okay.
gearheadsandguardians@gmail.com. The screen.
That's easy enough.
You can send it to that one, or you can send it to
I got that one coming right now.
Michael. Yeah, because then me and Andrew both can get it at the same time.
Gearheadsandguardians@gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Sleep. Okay, I'm
All
sending you. It says sleep training. Okay.
Oh, super cool.
And this will be good for us. So when we talk about this over at the
Exactly.
Legion. But all right, man, go get your groceries. We're gonna
God bless y'all.
finish this up, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
Sweet. And
Hey, buddy.
I wanted to ask both of you, the next time we do a podcast from the Legion, it would be super cool to have Doc come up and say, oh, she just dipped out.
Uh-oh.
But I think it'd be really cool to have Doc on if she wouldn't mind.
Oh yeah, I mean, because we could probably do like a live question, where if people have questions, we'll
Exactly
work on
what I
setting
was
that up.
thinking.
So yeah, that's
Exactly
a
what
great
I was
idea.
kind of get a
So
question and answer thing going on, and we can do it live and have it all going
Right.
on at the same time.
right.
So yeah, way cool. All right, well, let me get going before
All right, man.
Mama tears my head off. So
All right, man. Have a good one. And there she is. I'll finish this out.
all right, well, Doc, it was great seeing you again. You take care, girl. Bye bye now,
Buddy.
Bye. Well, love you too, bro. Out of here.
Later. So Doc, if we encapsulate this, all of these different cannabinoids and the different products that Zelise has, right? And we go back to the question, this is coming from one plant, right? So what's the difference between taking Ultracell, whether it be Vibe or regular Ultracell, and taking that and adding in these other products that they've been able to extract and make stronger? Like, can they get everything from one bottle, or is it just dependent on how much more a person needs to justify, okay, why the other products?
Right. And I think that's why we're so excited about Vibe, because it is the most sophisticated 3-in-1 at like specific levels on the market. There's nothing like this product on the market that's highlighting those. And so with the Ultracell blend, there is some CBN in there. With that full spectrum product, and it has the higher components of CBG, which we know that that's like really important for binding to one of the receptors, and the CBD more binds to the other one, and then you have the CBC also to help. So yes, the goal is, the one-stop shopping and trying to get everyone to balance and level out, but then we do have to add some of these things in. So that's where we tailor it, because some people don't have issues with sleep, or the Vibe is enough. And so
Sure.
So that's why we start with Vibe, getting people started on that. If they have gut issues, we want them to take more CBG and take more the Shield product or CBG to help kind of add that in. Or like we were talking about with the other stuff, some people really like Glow, and that has that THCV and the Rev type product, and that's huge for them. So you got to start somewhere. And we also want people to know, like, this is a fluid thing. Your body's going to be adjusting, getting used to things, and you have to kind of like keep managing it, but not to be frustrated and keep trying, because we are learning new stuff. We're learning about, is more or less, is less more, what makes it better.
Right.
So it's tricky, but I think that's why for most people, their bodies are out of whack. They don't have hemp in their diet. We haven't had hemp oil in a lot of our feed or livestock feed. So trying to get started somewhere, Vibe is a great starting point, because it balances and hits at high levels from both receptors. But some people may be better on plain old Ultracell. So we have to keep just plugging along.
And it's been, I mean, everything that I've added to my daily regimen with the Vibe, you can feel the difference when you add another product.
Yeah.
Because they are enhanced, right? They, everybody's built different. Size does matter. My girlfriend's 5'1", 125 pounds. I'm almost 6 foot at 248 pounds.
Right.
We have to pay attention to that too, because everybody's body does react differently. But but I think the whole sleeping thing, most of the complaints we get from veterans and things like that is, I just want to sleep at night. I just want a good night's sleep. I don't want to have, especially if they got PTSD where they just want to sleep. They'll worry about everything else because we can deal with other muscular or skeletal, pains and things like that comes from just abusing our bodies. But most of everybody just says, I just want to sleep at night, and so uh, having a little bit of talk about the R&R, compared to the dream, right? That kind of thing, be like, is you just need to go to sleep, or do you actually need to go to sleep and make it effective? You know what I mean? So, and I think I lost her again. So anyway, the topic tonight was, I think she'll come back on, but just to recap. Oh, there she is. Before I get started on it, are you back with me now?
Yeah, someone tried to call me and it booted. I'm sorry. I heard you say
Oh.
you were talking with a dream. Is it that you just?
Yeah. So but I think this is definitely another conversation that we have. Maybe we can get Dr. Todd on here to talk about that specific thing. But I appreciate the insight of understanding how it kind of works, and why CBN over dream based on what your ailments are when it comes to the sleep world. So I think that was really awesome. But outside of that, Doc, I really didn't.
Too is people just need to know that they need to be patient, as with anything. Like you said, different size people and figuring things out. We usually talk about low and slow, and for a lot of people, ultrasound is a great starting place. But it's mainly, I'm excited if we can get Vibe in people's hands, that's great. And if it works, it's even better. If we can get ultrasound in their hands and that's doing the trick, that's phenomenal too. And some people on those products alone, that's going to help sleep. But
Yes.
it does take a while to get your body in balance. And, obviously the medical professional, they need to try to be in conversation with them, but also we want to encourage people that, don't be afraid to try something that's natural. And that is, got checks all the boxes for a supplement that is going to probably be more beneficial than you can even imagine.
Right. And that was the key too, is I get asked all the time, how long does it take to work? And I try to tell them, I said, well, there's so many variables in that answer. Your body is going to depend on how, when you recognize what it's doing for you. So I think that hearing it from you is really powerful to say, listen, you can't just take it for a week or 30 days, and sometimes it takes longer. It really does take time for your body to adjust. You have to have faith and believe in what you're doing is right, in the right direction, and give it time to work. It's just like, and sleep is such a huge proponent of people's lives, right? It's the focus of what we want the most almost every day is, I just want to go to sleep. I'm tired and I just want to go to bed. I just, you know what I mean? So, but you can't just expect your sleep to be fixed like that, because your body has to morph into the proper stages after taking this stuff. So I think that was a good statement to hear it from you too. That includes animals, right? It takes time for animals to adjust to it too. I mean,
But the nice thing is we have a little better, we don't always get to, know truly what's going on, or people know they're taking something and it's a placebo, but with animals, we can usually pick up on those things and monitor some of those changes and subtleties. So that's always that's always a bonus in my opinion.
Sure. Well, Doc, I appreciate it. We spent a little extra time, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of expand on our product this month. We're doing R&R. Maybe we can get Dr. Todd. Maybe we can talk to him about getting him on and talk in depth.
Really
But
helpful.
always a great time to have you come on and give us some more knowledge so we can spread it out to those that seek our knowledge, which is very little.
Well,
So
exactly.
great.
And we always have to leave the disclosure that these are not evaluated by the FDA, but there's, like I said,
Yes.
a little bit of research that actually talks about studies with these compounds and products, and we believe that the ones that Celise has available are the best available. But I think, like I said, I feel kind of bad that I didn't really have more of the nitty gritty for you. But I mean,
It's
from
all
what
right.
I understand, we can hopefully still learn some things, and that there are these tailored products and these plants that can be useful. So it's a pleasure to be on and happy to answer any questions.
We're looking forward to next month. We'll talk about next month what we're going to do next time, so that I don't throw you at the wolves and be like, here, answer all these questions because you're Doc. So,
I just don't want
but
people to think I'm talking out of my rear end about stuff I don't really know about.
I do it every day. I try to convince people I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. But again, thanks, Doc. If you don't mind, hang on real quick once we tie this up. But and I'll see you shortly. So as with everything, guys, if you see it scrolling at the bottom, our goal is to combat PTSD, combat the suicide, and get everybody on a healthy path. However, if you feel like you have to talk to someone or you just feel like you're out of options, please dial 988. Email us here at Gearheads and Guardians, info@relieffortroops.org. Reach out. There is help. We can definitely put you in the right hands with the right people. If you absolutely want to just not talk to anybody of a specific medical field or what have you not, you just need some advice from ordinary people that might have gone through the same thing you have. Just know that you're not alone. Bubba Sauter said it right 2 weeks ago when we had him on. He said, remember, you're not alone. And sometimes you feel like that, but you're not. We're here to help. We're here to take care of you. And as always, shoot straight, go fast. This is Nitro. Rock already signed off for Dr. Emily. I appreciate y'all for being here. We will see y'all next time.
Take care.